Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be again with you 2 years after this special period, and thanks to Fermi to invite us for this introduction. Let me first tell you, or am I glad and honored to be back here. When we signed 2 years ago the first partnership, let's say, with Fermi, one of the first cooperation agreements for the deployment of SMRs in Europe. That was, at the time, a very few companies that were entering in that game, backing this emerging technology. 2 years later, several countries followed. All over the continent, we have seen intentions of building SMRs. That's a big step that we have made by a new SMR ecosystem, and that's a point I would like to address with you today, showing that there is a huge interest in this, what we call in Tractebel, the new nuclear revival. So we are writing together a new page. Representing Tractebel, which is a company internationally positioned like as frontrunner on SMRs, I'm proud that from the very beginning we have been supporting Fermi and Estonia as a whole in his first-of-a-kind SMR initiative here in Tallinn. The success of such pilot advanced nuclear projects and our collaborative ability to deliver them on time, on budget, will not only determine the future of this nuclear industry, but also demonstrate the key role that SMRs in the European landscape can play in the future. Indeed, at Tractebel, we are quite motivated with young people, media people, but also senior, and convinced that these advanced reactors, especially SMRs, are essential, as said before by the colleague of WNA, essential part of the solution of European targets. To reach carbon neutrality by 2050, we need nuclear. And to spare 87 gigatons of CO2, there is no other choices. SMR are on purpose smaller, simpler, standardized modular reactors. They are the missing link to provide carbon neutral and reliable energy to complement renewables, which are intermittent by definition, to power and to deliver process heat to heavy industries or cities, to produce low carbon hydrogen for fuel, planes or boats, but also for desalination in some area in the world where it's needed. Our engineers are leading innovation in SMRs. They can rely, of course, on the 60 years of experience in our company. As you know, we have built the 7 Belgian reactors, and we have been close to an operator since then. We are a global engineering firm, and we think, and we are quite convinced that this leading-edge expertise in industrial process will benefit the whole ecosystem. Recently, we have, let's say, worked internationally on several projects in SMR and also in power plants like Angra 3, which is restarting a new page of its history in Brazil with BNDES. We are working on that project for the due diligence. Because yes, SMR ecosystem need to create the disruption, the needed disruption. Because, of course, SMR is not only smaller, simpler, and standardized, but they shall be delivered on time, on scope, and on CapEx. If we miss such kind of things, we will recreate, let's say, an image of nuclear which is not capable of being on time, on delay, on scope. So this is very important, and Tractebel strategy is focused on that, to meet with you, with all the ecosystem, those targets, to make nuclear revival credible again. Tractebel want to be useful in this ecosystem as our DNA is to build a carbon neutrality. This is the DNA and the motto of the company, a green and healthy future, and that's the reason why we want to be present and active on pilot projects that are under development. Estonia, of course, Europe, of course, and overseas. And I will speak one word about Canada, because in 6 years from now, the first SMR in Canada is on the grid. It's tomorrow. So Our intentions are very clear: to achieve the goals by offering our expertise, especially in nuclear engineering and operations, to Canadian, of course, nuclear stakeholders in a spirit of partnership and complementarity. Tractebel is fully devoted to provide services to the global supply chain and utility in Canada and Europe, and that's the experience that we give overseas will benefit certainly Europe, Estonia, Poland, Czech Republic, or other countries. When I see today the global stakeholders, vendors, utilities, industrials, public authorities gathered here today in this beautiful area, I strongly believe with my colleagues that together we can make this new generation of nuclear reactors come true, successful for it, and to contribute to the fight against climate change, and for the benefit of all Europe and all over the world. SMR will indeed benefit entire society. It protects nature. Time for jumping is now, and I wish you all a very good and fruitful conference. Thank you.